This video is not exciting. This video is not dramatic. Nothing actually happens. But there's lessons in it that 90% of the driving population can learn from. These are all from one viewer, and they show the excellent skill of holding back. It's the opposite of impatience. If only all road users operated their vehicle in this way. Space is key to most things when you're driving. If you've got space, you've got time, and if you've got time, you'll never be caught out. My viewer follows at a good distance, but they also slow down and keep space from this vehicle in front at the roundabout. This can allow motorcyclists and cyclists to use these areas, and if they do, it's not an issue. Just give them space as well. Watch how my viewer grows the gap as the vehicles move off, even though the scooter rider was probably going to tuck it down the left side at that point. So my viewer holds back even further. Perfect. I did say in a recent video about repeat offenders, and although what they do next isn't an offence, now you've seen that once from this delivery rider, what do you think they're going to try and do a little touch further up? Spot the clues and be ready for them. Notice again my viewer holding back and giving plenty of space. And this is also why I say when you're moving off from a queue, always check both side mirrors for cyclists and motorcyclists. A pretty obvious time to hold back and give space, but how many of you would have been this patient? Well, we are talking to my viewership, so many of you would do, but if you're watching this and you wouldn't have done the same thing, you've got something to adapt and add into your own driving. My viewer's going in the same direction as the mobility scooter. Not a problem, again keeping plenty of space. Keeping far back like this makes vulnerable road users feel less pressured, and they're less likely to make mistakes themselves. So treat anyone more vulnerable than yourself in the same manner. Now the mobility scooter looks as though they've stopped, but when they move off again, my viewer is easily able to sort it out. We've now got the added risk and problem of the dog on a lead. The potholes in the road aren't going to be a help either, so my viewer again keeps plenty of distance. There's no one coming the other way, so when the dog makes another pit stop, my viewer uses the time and space to pass safely. Who would have been normally getting impatient in a situation like this? It doesn't help you, remember. You can imagine the sound in real life. Those strimmers are loud and the guy's wearing ear protection. It's pretty obvious that they haven't seen my viewer, but would beeping a horn be any use in this situation? Well, maybe, but we can't tell because there's no sound whether or not my viewer did use the horn. In any case, there is a little passing point on the right. Would you go past here? Well, I think I would do at the same sort of speed my viewer was using, and luckily enough, the fellow with the strimmer turned round at the perfect point. Another perfect time to hold back to make a solution, not a problem. Have a look at the red car. They go, but then they stop again. But again, my viewer's got this covered. If the red car needs to reverse completely behind the giveaway line again, it's not a problem. Leaving space creates options. Closing space restricts options. A high percentage of motorists in this situation would have just stopped really close to the red car. The other traffic's giving way to the pedestrians, and I think I would have done exactly the same in this situation. There's a few of them, and there's some young kids about. There is a clip a little bit later that's similar, but my viewer makes a different decision. How is holding back and creating space an aid in this situation? Well, my viewer does it early, and the silver car knows exactly what to do. Just be careful the others aren't going to take advantage of the space that you created though. That was the biggest risk in this clip. Another classic case of more space, less problems. Where is this white car going? Easy for my viewer, another non-event. A little earlier I talked about a clip with a central reservation. There was a different outcome with this. My viewer carried on, but I also thought that was the correct decision in that scenario. What's going on up ahead? Well, we've just had a nice little move left, so that space can be shared. That's brilliant, it allows traffic flow. But my viewer's onto this next scenario really early. There's a big vehicle coming. And again, because my viewer's done this positioning back early, the bus driver is well onto things. Do you think because my viewer was such a low risk, the bus driver was able to deal with the vehicle pulling out in an easier manner? When I first saw this clip, straight away I thought, vehicle towing a trailer, this could be an issue on the roundabout. My viewer was onto this also. Would you have tried to go through on the left here because both lanes can go ahead? A bigger space again saves the day. Perfect driving. Let's see how my viewer deals with the merge and turn situation. Even this far back from the merge point, I would be looking at how the traffic further ahead is fitting in. And remember, we're trying to do this as a zip. So if this vehicle in front goes in front of the Land Rover to the left, I would try and position my vehicle behind the Land Rover. But now I don't think it's going to work out like that. I think the Land Rover is going to go ahead of the vehicle in front of my viewer. And my viewer's already sussed it out. They're creating more space, so this Seat to the left can stay in front. Now you're just watching in case someone just piles up the left-hand side. Nice job. I wish it was always this easy. And to finish, we've got an absolute John special. My viewers worked out that this Volvo's catching the lorry. And they're not holding back this time. They don't need to. They just move to lane 3. And allow everything to flow perfectly. Like I said at the beginning, nothing dramatic or exciting happened in this episode. But everything should be like this all the time, don't you think? Full credit to my viewer, thanks a lot for sending in your clips, and you've been an inspiration to many, many people.